Rise and shine. Oh, wait. I want you guys to
We're gonna
do
do it
D
with
is
you.
for drama.
Yeah, ready?
Rise and shine. It's time for D
D
is
is
for
for
drama.
drama.
That's drama with a D. I'm your host, Shannon D. And today I am joined by actor, comedian. You can find him on Ryan Murphy's Monster, the Menendez brothers story, ABC's The Rookie, trying to find a sugar daddy on the Upright Citizens Brigade stage, or the MVP cruise ship bartender on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Max Hawksford, and my sister and manager of Ohana Surf Project in Waikiki, Hawaii, Chelsea Lewis. Welcome. So you might think this is an interesting pairing here, but Max Hawksford was on as a guest in the past, and my sister just absolutely adored him. She thought, no offense to the rest of the guests I've ever had on, but she thought he was the best guest I ever had.
No
I kept telling her. I
way.
was
Are
like,
you serious?
I was serious. I kept telling her. I was like, you gotta get Max back.
What happened? What did I do?
I don't know, but you were just so
She just
fun.
loved
I just thought you were like
Oh.
genuinely so funny
Oh my
and really
God.
entertaining. And I don't know.
The
it
bar's
just
high now.
I know.
Pressure's
That's a lot of.
on.
I don't know. Shannon might have edited it in my favor. We had a lot of just blank sitting, no talking.
I was like, come on, we're on a podcast. You need to speak. But Max and I were roommates back in 2017. We met catering, which is very apropos for this episode because we are going to be doing customer service.
Oh, geez.
Oh, jeez. So we met catering, and then we're both in the comedy community. So we were in class together, and then I needed a roommate, and you needed a roommate. And I lived in a one bedroom. I was in the one bedroom, and he was on a mattress in the floor on the living room.
In the living room. Yeah, some of the best years of my life, seeing you hit your knee on the table, going to the bathroom at 2 a.m. every night.
Yep, stomping on your mattress when I was mad at you. Trying to wake you up.
Well, and we do have something in common because
Yep,
we were also
same?
the OG roommates.
yeah.
What was your living situation?
Well, when we were little, we lived in the same bedroom.
Yep.
Until I mean, God, we were 16 or like something like that. We're 2 years apart.
Wait, so
Maybe I was
in our
15.
first house, we did have separate rooms for a minute.
We did.
You remember that?
Actually,
Mhm.
yeah.
And then, but we moved into a little bit bigger house. And part of it was because we were sharing one bathroom.
No, in our first house, we shared a room. We were in the fish room.
Yeah. No,
Oh
no.
my God,
the
no.
underwater
But
room.
then, so no. We were in the fish room.
What is the
It
fish
smelled
room?
really
and like for
bad.
about a couple years, I was in like the jungle room by myself.
Wait,
And
this
you were
is
still
a
in the
house
fish room.
you lived in that had a room named the fish room
Well, so-
in the jungle room?
My mom was very creative.
Okay.
And so
oh, it was like decorated that way.
decorated,
Yeah.
Oh,
but
okay,
like
okay.
all out.
It
like
was
blue
really
walls,
cool.
fish
Really?
decals,
Oh
seaweed
my
decals. Art. We had
God.
fish pillows. And then when we moved to the new house, we lived in the attic, and it was the pink room.
Oh man.
It was
Oh.
all
pink.
pink,
Carpet
everything
pink?
Oh my God.
Wall pink?
Carpet pink?
And we did bright stars of pink too.
Yeah, it was like a Pepto-Bismol pink and then hot pink stars.
Did you
It was
like
everything
that? What was
pink.
that like? Was that like cool? Or
I
you
loved
like
it.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
How old were you
loved
then?
it. So I was what when we
Well,
moved there?
we were like 8 and 10
Yeah, I think
until we were
so.
like 15 and 17 or
Oh my,
something. And
oh
then
my God,
I-
that's a great
And then I
age.
made like a PowerPoint presentation of like why I should have my own room or something like that.
Yeah, she was done living with me at that
Oh
point.
my God. How did the
But-
PowerPoint presentation go?
It's just like, I'm older now. Chelsea snores. She goes to sleep too late. She
I'm
plays her
messy.
music really loud. She's really messy. So I need my own
Yeah.
space.
And what did your parents say?
Yeah, they gave it to me. They made the office that was like
What?
not used. Yeah, and it was a much smaller room though.
Yeah.
You got like the nice big ass
so
room.
she moves out
and
of
with
this
your own
big
bathroom.
giant room. I have my own bathroom. She leaves that, and now I'm just like
You're
a little
this
queen
sick-
upstairs
And
by
I was
myself.
in like a 5x8.
Your parents are like, all
If
right,
you
if
want."
you want the office.
Yeah.
Yep. So we were all roommates. So
Oh
Mm.
my
these
God.
guys had the honor of being my roommate. We should have just done that as the topic.
Roommates?
Roommates.
Or just talking about being her roommate.
Yeah. Shane, you're a pretty good roommate. I feel like
Thank
you
you.
are
Some may
consistently,
argue.
well, consistently clean, right? Ish.
To clean up after you, that's for sure.
So let's get into
Let's talk
topics.
about customer service.
So, as I mentioned, we worked catering together. So, both Max and I have been in the restaurant industry. Chelsea has too. And then, as I also mentioned, Max was the bartender on a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Briefly tell how that went down.
Okay, so I was signed up to just do a regular catering
Catering
job.
gig.
It was just like 35 an hour. Like it was one of these like nice, there's like sometimes there's certain companies that are like, we want everyone to look really hot, their best they can. And this was one of those companies.
Yeah,
And
there's literally like one that I'm signed up for that's called like hot bartender.
Wait, what?
And you have to give your headshot in order to get booked.
Oh,
yeah.
that's so funny.
Yeah. And so this was one of those companies. And so they hired me for this job and they didn't tell us any information. They're like, it's Marina Del Rey. And they made us sign an NDA. And so I drove all the way out there and they're like, if you don't sign this NDA, you can't work. And I was like, oh, God, I'm so broke. This is really annoying, but whatever. And then I found out it's like someone, I can't remember whose birthday it was, but it was like one of the housewives' husband's birthday.
Mhm.
And so also, I didn't show up to be on television. I am
Yeah.
like barely I am barely passing this dress code. I remember like we were short staffed and the owner looked at me and he's just and like walked away because he like knew the situation. He's like, we need guys.
Why didn't they just tell you guys what was going on?
That's crazy.
Because people get weird when they find out. Let me tell you, all these like wannabe models like really started like getting like ready to be like, I'm gonna get my
This is my
shot
moment.
in the background.
I'm not
of,
throwing away my
yeah,
shot. I'm not throwing away my shot.
I don't know what song that is, but
It's from
I'm for it.
Hamilton.
Oh, okay.
Never seen it.
Me neither.
God, you would love
I
it.
know.
So I'm there and I'm definitely like placed in trying to be in the back because
Your
I
outfit
look
had
the
stains
worst.
on it.
I just look truly the worst of everybody. So I'm like placed in the back, like, you know, running plates or whatever. It also was a mess. Like everything there was like the schedule was off and people were working too long, no breaks. And
Mhm.
the bartender needed to be replaced. And I was
Oh.
just one of the people that can bartend. Not good.
Yeah. Don't make me
Not
a
good,
drink now.
but I know how to open a wine bottle and
And crack a beer.
yeah, truly. And so I'm up there and it just so happens that this is like when they're having the
fight.
climax of the
scene.
episode.
Yeah.
They're sitting at the bar, one housewife on one chair, one housewife on the other chair, and I am like in between them as the bartender.
Right on camera.
And I was so mad because I was like, dude, I'm getting paid $35 an hour. I'm on this it just I was
Network
like
TV
yeah,
show.
and I'm like I don't want to be part of this. And so I kept trying to like find ways to like get edited out. So I would just start like making like
Yes.
dumb faces.
Like
You can't,
directly into the camera, right down the
yeah, I would,
barrel.
like look at the camera, or I'd be like bored face.
They probably
you
love
know.
it though. They probably love
Really
it.
exaggerated. And I'm like, and then there was a point where I was like, oh, you know what would be I could get out if you know how when you screw a wine
The cork.
cork and you could just
Opener?
keep screwing it and it doesn't really go.
Oh,
So
yes.
I was like, well, this would fuck up the editing if I just kept doing it. So if I did it
Oh my
for 10
God.
minutes,
Master manipulator. I love
I truly did it
it
for 10 minutes and then after 10 minutes and then
continuity is so off.
You got like carpal tunnel.
also I forgot to just to the left of the camera is this catering company owner and he is staring bullets at me wanting me to die.
Wait,
so
is this the same guy that
the
was like
same guy. Truly. I know he's like of all the fucking people this idiot is on camera. And
Oh my
Did they
God,
ever bring
that's
you back?
so good.
No, they didn't.
No.
And
You have to find that footage. I'll put it on my Instagram.
I have there's like some good, like, it's too quick, but
They
took
tried to cut
screenshots.
around him as much as they could.
But I'm in it. And I do have some really epic. One is like me pulling out, like really trying to like pull out the wine cork, and I'm like, oh, so there's a shot of that, and then a shot of like me giving like one of those dumb faces, kind of to the camera, or one of the girls where I'm like, meh.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
I still just can't believe that they hire. I know that it's like actors and models that are usually working these gigs, but like there's a lot of actors and models that like really would not want to be on reality TV. So it's kind of crazy to have you drive on your moped all the way down from
Truly.
Hollywood to
Yeah.
Marina Del Rey without telling you that.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is that they're kind of exploiting you guys because they know you're desperate for money and you already drove there.
That's exactly what they did. Yeah. And it was funny. One of the guys that was working that event really wanted to be in my position, and he's like, "How was it?" And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "You really figured it out, huh?" And I was like, he was so jealous, and it was so funny. And he thought I was like playing it cool, like as if like I didn't care. I didn't.
Yeah. In fact, I was trying to sabotage
know.
myself.
Truly.
That's so
This is
funny.
like an episode of Party Down. Did you guys
Yeah,
watch that?
I love that show.
Oh my God. The first time I tried watching that when I was catering, and I was like, it's too close to home.
It's
I'm
real.
too triggered.
Mm.
Which we were just talking about this last night because I was asking Chelsea if she ever saw The White Lotus. And because she works with, that kind of clientele in Hawaii, she's like, it's too triggering for me.
Really?
She had to turn it off the first episode.
Well,
What
no, I
episode
watched
are you
the whole
watching?
first season, but I
Oh,
didn't.
you did.
I didn't. I didn't like it. I really did not enjoy.
It was
The
just
White Lotus.
too real?
Yeah, and it didn't feel good. It was just like, ugh. It was like icky.
Well, because
you
she
know?
was like, she's the staff in that scenario and dealing with these
Yeah.
fucking, which we will be getting into that in a second, reading some 1-star reviews for Ohana Surf Project. They are few and far between, though, let me say. I
Wait,
just
this
was
is
looking
one-star
at
review about your
Our
company.
Company?
Yeah, we have a few.
She'll give
We have
her
a
other
few.
side of the story, though.
Okay.
But I was looking on TripAdvisor, and you guys have 5 stars, not even a 1-star review on TripAdvisor.
Yeah.
Did you kill them?
We do have a couple on Google and like 1 or 2 on Yelp. Almost all on Google are related to doing rentals. Ugh. They're like,
Mm.
we mostly just focus on surf lessons. So that's our bread and butter. That's like what we are really good at. And so we're rarely getting bad reviews for that. We're generally killing it on
They
that
have
front.
like a rentals as part of it, too.
But we also rent
paddle boards,
out
surfboards, longboards.
And so sometimes people are doing it on their own, get into some sort of situation, et cetera, et cetera.
So this is like
or,
totally on them.
Yeah.
I mean,
for
a
the
lot
bad
of the
experience,
times, but
most of it.
again, it's like maybe not what we focus on a lot. So I get where things might, fall behind the cracks sometimes. But anyway, I just found a couple of funny ones that I thought would be fun to read. So
Can we read
do you
them?
want to read
Sure.
the customer side?
I rarely make reviews. So to make a 1-star review, I wish I could make a 0-star. Should be an indication not to come here. Rental prices are so-so. However, the biggest issue with this company is the complete lack of professionalism and careless attitude. Walked up to a boy sitting under the black tent to find out more information, and he didn't even attempt to look up and at least say hi and ask how he could help us. He looked at us and went right back to his phone. When we asked about prices, he said he had no idea. We reluctantly rented a board here anyway, to which they laid out somewhere far away and then went right back to being on their phones and ignoring us. Didn't even inform us where they put the boards and didn't outfit the paddles to our height either. This is the epitome of, quote, you're a tourist / non-native Hawaiian, so we could care less about you and don't want you here. Yet provide a service for these exact people. Stay away. Do not come here. There's a cheaper and way better service right next to Fort DeRussy Beach. 1-star.
This is honestly so silly. This is so unserious. I feel like she's one of those people that might have been paid from Fort DeRussy
Right?
Beach to make like a bad
A bad
a
review.
bad review. It's so like he didn't look up. It's like so whatever. I don't know. That's so much typing
Yeah.
for nothing, really.
Wait, and the funny thing is, I rarely make reviews, so I wish I could make a 1-star, right? Of course, I wanted to go back and be like, okay, let's see. And you
Yeah,
click,
let's
and of
see.
course they have
It's
other
always
reviews,
1-star
and they've said that in
reviews.
multiple reviews, like
Oh,
kind of thing,
really?
like make other 1-stars, like they have a bunch of 1-star
So they're like
reviews,
trying to be manipulative.
well, they're also just. They were okay. So this was their second day coming to us, which is the hilarious thing that they don't mention that at all in the review.
Oh my God.
It was a couple. So it was the guy that wrote this, and they were just already immediately, like the first day we dealt with them, they were like, so we have this phrase in Hawaii, we call them like high maka maka, means like you think you're all like hoity toity and like,
oh my God.
you know, high maintenance kind of people and stuff.
Tourists.
And well,
Or just Karens in
whoever.
general,
But yeah,
kind of
it's like
thing.
kind of like the Karen or whatever. But so yeah, they were already just kind of difficult. But this is what actually was happening. So they walk up, the kid, they ask him, oh, we want to rent. They rented from us before. So the kid's like looking up on his phone. They're booking. And then we just all came in from the lesson. We grab them their boards. We put it closer to the beach for them so that they don't have to carry it as far, which is
paddle
why.
boards can be very heavy.
And then they rented from us the day before. So we figured they kind of knew how to set the paddles up, etc. Right? So I was like, okay, there's your boards. You got it. Like you were here yesterday. Like,
You
do
know
I
the
have to
drill.
walk you through this song and dance again?
Oh my God.
So, and then the funniest part is like, oh, you're a tourist, not native Hawaiian, like could care less. And it's like half of my crew are not from Hawaii. Like half of them are. And half of the ones that are from Hawaii, like, I mean, they're, first of all, almost no one in Hawaii can be like, I'm fully native. Like there's plenty of people that lots of Hawaiian blood and whatnot, but everybody's so mixed, right? So like a lot of the kids that work for us are like all kind of ethnicities, you know? So it's like, anyway,
I know it was kind of weird to be
be
like non-native Hawaiian instead of just like being a local versus a tourist. Like they made it very specific.
very
like,
specific.
You're not native
You're not
Hawaiian.
a native Hawaiian. It was like this person was so insecure. I think it's just like what it boiled down to. But anyway, so we, put a response and basically we said, we want to address your recent experience with us. On the day before your second rental, you had a positive experience with us, which is why you returned. However, we understand that you didn't mention this in your feedback.
Oh my God, I love this wording. Love this wording.
On your second day, one of our employees was using their phone to look up your previous booking so they could assist you promptly. Meanwhile, the rest of our team had just finished a lesson and were quickly preparing your boards. We placed them closer to the beach to make it easier for you. As you had rented them from us before, we assumed you were familiar with adjusting the paddles. When you switched to a surfboard, our staff promptly assisted you, which she doesn't mention he did at some point. We want to clarify that we value all our customers, including tourists, as seen in our positive reviews. We appreciate everyone who visits us, regardless of where they're from. We're sorry if you felt personally affected by your experience. However, our team does not harbor any negative attitudes towards tourists or any customers as you described. While we acknowledge that our service on this occasion may not have been perfect, we believe a 1-star or 0-star rating is unwarranted. Some aspects of your review seem exaggerated or based on assumptions, and we feel it doesn't fully reflect the situation. We encourage you to consider all perspectives when leaving feedback. We genuinely wish you the best.
Bravo.
Wow.
Bravo.
That was so
This is a masterclass on how to
skilled.
respond.
That was amazing.
I love the digs in a very professional way.
Yeah. Are you writing this? Is this a team
ChatGPT
writing
knows?
this?
No.
That was
good
so-
Well, so
job.
actually, I will be honest. I definitely have ChatGPT help me with like review responses if there is an issue now, because it does really help you to be like, okay, how can I say what I want to say in a positive
Being
way?
polite.
But this is pre
wow.
ChatGPT because this one was from like a
Nice.
couple years ago. But
Excellent, Charles.
but yeah, no, we
See-
definitely try to like
Now, this is the problem with phones because everyone always just thinks that when people are on their phones, they're texting or on Instagram.
yeah.
When our phones are little mini computers. And sometimes I'm like, I'll have the, the Nook app on my phone and I'm reading and I'm like, oh God, I want them to like know I'm reading. And then I'm being like, really mysterious.
and I'm not just scrolling TikTok.
But I'm like, fuck, they don't know that I'm educationed.
You got to get a book to put in front of your phone
Yeah.
and then read behind the book.
There you go. Just need to have like a decoy
Yeah.
book that the phone sits in,
Yeah.
right?
There you go. They should invent that.
Yeah.
Like one where your phone actually, you know how they do like cutouts of the
Yeah.
pages?
Yeah,
And just
yeah,
put
yeah.
your phone in
Well,
there.
we could just make it.
Yeah, we totally could. Lord knows I ain't reading hard copies anymore.
I
No,
love
that's not
good
true.
hard
I do.
copies.
I mostly do that, honestly, because I want people to know.
Clearly.
I need to present, education.
Did they respond to this review?
No,
Yeah.
we never heard from them after that,
Yeah.
but it's just
But yeah, it's almost like I almost feel like, because I feel in that scenario, if I was the worker, I almost would be like, oh, I'm just looking up your booking. Like
Yeah.
maybe that is what they should do.
And that's where, that's why we're like, hey, we admitted like this might not have been the most perfect
Yeah,
interaction.
maybe
like,
the guy
that
was
person
being a
should
little
have-
aloof, because you have had not the best employees in the past.
Well, they're all good people. They're just not always
On top of it.
Once again,
Yeah.
already rewriting and getting that rebuttal.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, so I can like kind of see one of your employees in the past like doing something like this. So yeah, maybe it would be good to like, I mean, this was a while ago, but tell them like, oh, okay, let me look up your like narrating what they're doing instead of just being like,
yeah.
looking up
Yeah.
and down
Well,
from their phone.
And I will say, anytime we do get a negative feedback or any kind of feedback that's like constructive feedback, we do try to learn from it,
Yeah.
right? It's like, okay, look, as much as I'm like, I want to always defend my employees and what they did, like, it's like, okay, well, how can we either improve? How can that employee improve, or how can our business improve? And because if they're having this complaint, maybe other people might be, So we do definitely try to hear it and go, okay, how could we have done better?
And the other
But-
thing too that I can say on their side again is that where it's like they didn't fit the paddles to the height. And it's like, well, you came yesterday, so we just assumed you knew how to do it. Like, I do think that should still be a service that you guys provided because you had it the day before.
Mhm.
So like they were expecting it.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
again, but it's like to but then go put a 1-star review because
No,
we
I
didn't
for sure.
adjust the paddles.
Yeah.
Like,
And we've had this conversation in the past when we were doing like customer reviews where like it's either people are either 5 stars or they're 1. And it's like, there's a little happy medium there.
Yeah.
Like if the
Mhm.
overall experience is great, give it 4 stars then.
I
But then
do
some people are like, well, you
appreciate-
have to warn people.
Oh.
But be
Yeah.
giving 1 star for something like this?
Yeah.
I do always appreciate when a person is really fair. Like they're like, hey, I have a complaint, but overall, like, again, like these people had a positive experience the day before and then they just completely
Negated
that. So if they were
Yeah.
being fair, they should have given us like a 3-star and gone like,
Yeah.
we came back and the second day it was not good. And so now we're, dinging them for
Yeah,
this
or
and
even say
that.
like they could have communicated a little bit more about what they were doing, or like, yeah,
Or ask, like,
yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
where are the boards, or can you help me with this? Or I don't know.
Yeah,
There's-
exactly. Like there could have been some communication on their part if they were confused by anything.
All right, should we read the next one?
Yeah.
Condescending coaches. Out of a van on the street operation. My son taught himself despite the negative attitudes of instructors. YouTube is a better coach.
All right, now this one's coming straight for the school part of your.
Yes. So this one was
company.
one of the rare for the instructors, but oh my God, this woman. Okay, so I'll just read the response and then I'll tell you about this one. We're sorry to know you feel this way. Here, you can view videos we took of your adult son, Mark, that day, of waves he was pushed into after receiving constructive feedback, demonstrating our teaching style and positive attitude. We certainly hope Mark doesn't share the same views as you. I am the coach in the videos cheering him on and personally help to teach him along with my coworkers who I know to be great coaches and good people. I also wanted to include a photo of the van on the street, which is in fact a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van. Our clients appreciate the close proximity to the beach where they get to view the safety video in the air-conditioned, luxurious. High-quality vehicle. Mahalo for the feedback.
And then the video she posts on YouTube of Mark also basically publicly shaming him because look at that stance.
That guy's taking a shit on see. Oh my god.
He is squatting.
He's
But it's so funny because
Well,
I'm like, What are you talking
Your
about?
adult son.
I had to put that in there. 'Cause I was like,
Condescending coaches. I mean, that's so funny because it's like, I guess if you are really bad, any encouragement is going to
that's what I'm
sound
wondering.
encouraging.
Like,
You know,
That's true.
great job, Mark. And you're like, you know, like there's no winning.
Yeah, I'm
Like
like,
if you
what's
are
it-
really bad, like that guy, that's so funny. And there's no way that guy taught himself anything.
Didn't teach himself anything.
He's
And
horrible.
he stood up. If this is his first time ever surfing,
was.
standing up is like, that's
You did
a
it.
pretty great feat.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was just tripping out about this one because I was like, and then YouTube is a better coach. I was like, no, honey, YouTube is not a better coach. I have seen what's on YouTube and it is not good.
I'll post. Chelsea made this comic strip. It's the cutest thing. I'll post it, and it's like because she's very artistic, and it's of a girl trying to teach herself surfing via YouTube. I'll post it. It's really
That's
cute.
fun.
And then I'll also post the video of her encouraging Mark. But you're saying, yeah,
you're
good
doing
job.
great. And
Okay.
really earnestly, like there's
Yeah.
no
I
condescending.
wasn't
at
like
all.
being at all like that. And I know that the guys that were like helping him catch the waves were helping him the whole time,
Yeah.
giving him
What do
advice.
you think that what was the reasoning of her review? Like, why do
I
you
have
think?
no
What
idea.
was she trying to prove? Because it doesn't even seem like she was trying to get her
Yeah.
money back or anything. Like,
Yeah.
why?
I don't know. I really don't know. And I'm like, I really hope that the you know, her son doesn't feel this way because I think he actually did have a good lesson. I don't know why she's like on the beach watching and then getting upset. So these are just very typical Karen types of customers.
I do love this new wave of like, I feel like when reviews came out, it would be like really devastating because it very felt one-sided. But I love now that we're in a place where a Karen can be a Karen and you can call out a Karen for
Mhm.
Mhm.
in this
Yeah.
very honest way. And it's not like this, it's more of a conversation than just like, here's a shitty thing that this place did. And now you're like, oh, well, actually,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's not the case.
I think it is nice that a lot of platforms allow for the owners or operators to respond because like on podcasts, like the podcast app and then Spotify you actually can respond, but on Apple you can't. Like there's no way to comment or anything. So it's just like boom, a 1-star review, an anonymous 1-star review. You can't even click on their profile to see like how they've reviewed other people. And it's
Mm.
just out there publicly. Like you can't get it taken down and they can say like really nasty things about you and
Yeah.
you have no way to communicate with them and be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, could you consider taking this down? I'd love to change my vocal fry for you."
Yeah. Also, like that's just where like bots happen. Like
Yeah.
bots, like
That too.
you know, like
And it can destroy businesses.
it can, yeah.
Well, yeah. And I mean, like, so cool thing is too, I know on, at least on Yelp and Google, you can ask, like, you can request for them to take it down and then you can request for what reasons. Because if it's not legitimate, like, if it's like, this person didn't even use your service, like, they're just like, we don't like them. And you're
Yeah.
like, well,
Oh,
they
yeah.
didn't come surf with us. Like, this might be like a neighbor that's mad at me for some reason, you know?
Totally.
And it's like, okay, well, that's not a fair way. And then there's people online bullying. And so it's cool
Yeah.
that I have had actually, and they have successfully taken down ones like that.
Really?
So it's like, okay, cool. They are fair when it comes to like, not just like they can go, oh, this is a legitimate like customer review. So they're not going to like just take down every, 1-star I'm upset about or something. But if it is somebody just like, not actually fairly reviewing us in like, like, okay, you didn't actually come use our service, then
Yeah,
they'll take
because
that
like
down.
on Amazon and stuff, they have like verified buyer
Mm.
for
Mm.
certain products,
Oh,
and then
that's
they know it's
nice.
not just friends that
Oh,
are
yeah,
coming.
yeah.
Which I mean,
Well, and sometimes
you have had
that.
us do that.
Really?
Because I'm
But
like, hey,
I
go
have
on.
taken lessons.
Yeah.
so.
See, I always ask people that I know have come surfing with us,
Yes.
but I'll be like, friends, put up
Yeah.
a good review,
Oh,
please.
totally. Oh my God.
Oh, I had
do
this
that all
customer
the
the
time.
other day. They were so lovely. They were so sweet. And afterwards they were like, we're going to give you a 5-star review. Like, we only do positive reviews. And I was like, I love that. I was like, that's how I feel. Like, I just like to give 5 stars. Like and I try to remember to do it more, I want to make a more concerted
Yeah.
effort to do it more. Cause I know it is
It
like,
helps
So,
you.
I appreciate it, so it's like, I want to do that more for businesses that I really appreciate.
Totally.
And if I don't, I think it's better to go directly. If you really truly
complaint.
have a complaint, just go to, because so many of these reviews that I've had that I'm like,
We
if you
could
just
have
came and
solved
talked
that.
to me,
Yeah.
we could have figured something out to make you happier or whatever, or explain the situation better to you or whatever it was, but you just went and did this thing and didn't come to us.
I think I'll only ever leave a 1-star review if I've already gone through those
If you've gone
channels
through those
first
channels,
and then there are no
then I
help.
think it's
Then I'm
okay.
like, all right, then F you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I tried.
Yeah.
I gave you a
I
chance.
did give you a chance. Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if like 1-star reviews are mostly just older people that never really learned how to communicate.
Yeah.
You know,
Right?
So they're just
Yes.
unleashing on these 1
Have knock on the
stars.
therapy.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't know how to have like a conversation.
Productive
Yeah.
conversation. I can
Communication
totally see
is
that.
so big.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think it's like a cathartic thing for some people.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
like, then write them an email.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be public.
I always appreciate when someone will do that.
But if they
They'll be
don't
like,
get back to you, or if
"Hey."
they get back to you in a nasty way, then do it.
Yeah.
If
Also,
they
then,
don't,
then you're okay, I feel.
How embarrassing would it be to be like a consistent 1-star?
oh, I know.
I would be so scared to like be a friend dining with that person.
Right?
Yes.
You know, like the restaurant doesn't want that person to come back, and I'm with them,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or I think your Yelp review like does have your name on it. So it's like you
Mm.
are kind of like stamping, and I think I talked about this on the last episode that I did, but just like the anonymity of a lot of these reviews makes people nastier because they're not putting their name.
Yeah.
It's almost like an online troll in a way, right?
Yes.
Like, which it just gives you more power.
So then it's hard as a customer that wants to try a new place to really look at the 1-star reviews. You have to like really do your research when you're looking to go somewhere, because you have to take everything with a grain of salt, because the 1-star reviews are going to be extremely biased. And also some of the 5-star reviews are going to be some friends, So you kind of have to do a little research.
If there's enough reviews though, right? Like, and
Yeah.
that's where we're at now. Like, I remember when we were first starting as a business, like even a 4-star review was like, oh no, like, cause we only had so many, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And we had been doing it a while before we even got something that wasn't 5, but I remember like that feeling of like,
I know.
and you're just like devastated. But now it's like, like it's just in a sea of lots and lots of 5-star reviews. So you're like, okay, it's not as big of a deal as it
No,
used
it is
to
hard
be.
not to let the negative, like
But
everyone
yeah,
does
I
that.
still get like, not 5 stars. What?
But I think it's good that you guys always respond.
Yeah.
and
We
you're
try to
very
respond to all the
professional.
reviews, like positive and,
Oh, that's nice.
not positive, but
All right. Well, next we're going to talk about the Walmart cake debate.
Oh my god!
You guys haven't heard about this, have you?
These are
Max
3
and I
words
do not
I
know.
love. Walmart cake debate.
So I'm sure some of you listeners know about this. It was blowing up on TikTok. But small bakers in the world make these really cute, very aesthetic heart cakes. And they usually say words on it like happy 24th birthday and
okay.
happy divorce. And like sometimes they're cheeky and they're really cute, and they've become very popular amongst like, on Instagram for people's birthdays because they're really cute. The girlies love that stuff.
Well, and what's nice, I think, like we were just talking, I feel like dessert isn't so huge anymore. Like you don't necessarily need a massive cake. Like everybody just wants like a little sliver of a cake anyway. So like this seems like the perfect size.
Yeah, where you don't have like a week full of like.
Yeah, what do I do?
The sheet cake in your fridge. And you're like, what the hell am I going to do with this? So small bakers have been doing this. Apparently they can run anywhere from like $80 to $100 because they're custom. And you can make them super custom ordered, definitely what it's written on it. But then also you can work with the baker about exactly the colors you want, all of this stuff. But now recently Walmart has come out in their bakery section with these heart cakes. And they're like $20.
That sucks.
$20, $25.
But I bet they don't taste as good.
Here, let me just get your guys' opinion on it, and then I'll read both sides because I really do see both sides of the argument. But let me see what you guys think about this.
About them selling these cakes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that kind of sucks when I don't know, it makes sense. It just sucks. Like what are you going to tell Walmart they can't make these cakes? It seems like a really sweet, fun idea, and it sucks that this Walmart is stealing that idea and mass producing it
Mhm.
without the love and care of a small business.
Okay. Chels?
And and on the other side of it, it's nice to be able to be like, oh, $80 to $100 for a cake is kind of a lot, you know? So like $20 is way more affordable for the person that can't afford like an $80 to $100.
So you support Walmart?
So I'm not saying I support Walmart. I'm saying I support maybe the idea of the person being able to go, hey, I can have this
afford
cute
it.
cake too, and I could afford it. But again, like it's not gonna taste as good. That's for sure. It's not gonna be as good quality. So you kind of pay for what you get in that respect.
Yeah.
But if it is hurting the little bakeries, I do feel for them, like I definitely I'm all about supporting small businesses. But, it is sort of again nice to have that, I guess, maybe ability for the
People who
That's
can't
true.
yeah, the
afford.
person who can't afford to be
Yeah.
like, I want to have that cute little heart cake too, right?
And also the time and effort that you then have to work with the baker. You have to like go in and order it. They have to get it
Yeah.
ready at a certain time. You can just literally run to the store and grab it really quick. So that's another thing.
Mhm.
All right. Let me explain some of the points
There's
from
more
both
points?
sides. Yeah. All right. So support for small bakeries. Quality and customization. Small bakeries are often seen as offering better quality cakes with more attention to detail and the ability to create customized designs and flavors. They also use higher quality ingredients, which some argue lead to a superior taste. Supporting local businesses. Point number 2. Buying from local bakeries helps support small businesses and their workers, contributing to the local economy. Many people prefer to keep money circulating within their community rather than giving to large corporations. Number 3, artisanal craftsmanship.
Wanna try that again?
Artisanal. Is it?
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
it.
All right.
What was
Small-
it? Wait, what did you say?
Artisanal.
Artisanal.
Small bakers often take pride in their craftsmanship, offering cakes that are seen as a form of art. The personal touch and care that goes into creating each cake is something many feel is lost in mass-produced Walmart options. And then I wrote a couple more things there.
Oh, so that was ChatGPT?
Yes. I said, give me the points about the Walmart cake debate.
I was like, when you said contributing to the local economy, I was like, that's
not coming out of her
ChatGPT.
mouth. All right, number 4, I said stealing ideas. This could be another reason. Oh, this is okay. I don't sound quite as eloquent
You want
as
to try it again?
ChatGPT. It's like, are they stealing then their idea? I mean, I know it's not like a copyrighted written idea, but I know that it's like, I don't know. It's not like a normal sheet cake. I just wasn't sure if that had something to do with it either. And then I also thought it devalued their work. Because if you can get something for $25 over here, it really does make your product less valuable. Even though supposedly, I mean, the bakers on TikTok were saying like we use better ingredients, which honestly could be a lie though. Some people were arguing saying you probably just get your ingredients from Walmart anyway. I would hope that they're being honest about that. And I bet you some are, I bet you some aren't.
Or maybe they're not using all the ingredients that are better.
Yeah, like maybe some though.
Yeah.
Here's my question though, because our Walmart doesn't have a bakery. Is this actually a bakery in Walmart making these
It's
cakes?
kind of like how a grocery store has a bakery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because our Walmart doesn't
It
have
doesn't.
one. So that's why I was curious. So
Yeah, I don't
it is
know.
like they actually are making them in their bakery.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes, they are.
So
They're
it
making
isn't
them
like
there.
something that was like made over here, shipped into store, and now it's like in a box.
Yes, they're
ready to
making
go
them
on the
there.
shelf.
And so that's one point that on the
Mm.
Walmart side.
It's not like made by a robot or something.
No, yeah, they're not. It's house-made
Someday,
bakers,
probably.
professional bakers. And so one of the other small bakers said that it was a luxury to have a birthday cake, and people were outraged by that too, because they were like, everyone deserves a birthday cake.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, but that's the
I
thing is like,
know.
Everyone deserves a birthday cake.
Yeah.
But maybe just not the heart one.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know. But I mean, I'm not saying I agree with that either. But
Well, let's listen to support for Walmart cakes. One,
Let's see what
affordability.
ChatGPT says.
Walmart cakes are often much cheaper than those from small bakeries, making them more accessible to a larger number of people. Customers on a budget can still celebrate special occasions without breaking the bank. 2, convenience. Walmart offers convenience with its widespread locations and extended hours, allowing for easier access for customers who need a cake quickly or don't have time to visit a local bakery. Exactly. 3, consistency and availability. People appreciate that Walmart cakes are consistently available and can be ordered with ease, which appeals to those who need a straightforward and reliable option. 4, in-house bakers. These bakers are still professionally trained bakers with the same skill sets, so many people think they were putting down their professions. And then 5, ingredients. People felt that the small bakers were probably just getting their ingredients from Walmart anyway.
So my best friend has a clothing business, and she, in order to be successful in her business, can't compete with Walmart.
Yeah.
Bathing suits and clothes, right? Because there's no way she could charge those prices unless she was
Because she uses
slave
sustainable,
labor,
yeah,
or
exactly.
you know what I mean, or and again, so and she does use like better quality materials. They're, you know, more environmentally friendly, just like, again, they feel nicer, they hold up longer, right? So there's all of these things that she is paying more for that, and then she's also having to do the work or pay people to do that work, right? And so as a small business, with the quality she's doing and what she's doing, she has to charge a lot more. So when you compare, oh, I could get a dress for this price from Walmart, you know, for like a fifth of the price of her dress or something, then it's like, it's not the same, right? And it's like, so you have to decide at the end of the day as a consumer, do I want to support this small business and what's important to me here? Or do I want to just get that dress that I can get, you know, for, so, I mean, in a way, it's like, you can't, Walmart's going to compete with those small businesses and people are going to use Walmart, but then you're still going to have those people going to the bakeries, I'm sure. You know, unfortunately, there are cases where big box stores do put small businesses out of business. I mean, a new product could do that, right? Like not something that they normally carry, right? Like they always maybe have bathing suits and clothes, right? So, you know, another person coming in and starting to sell bathing suits and clothes, you know, as a small business maybe isn't the same. A big box store moving into your town will affect like the small businesses in that town if it's brand new, right? Because now all of a sudden, oh, I can get all those things I was getting from the small business for much cheaper at the big box store.
Yes.
And so that will put things out of business. But I feel like if this already exists, like the bakeries already exist, so they're already established too, and like people already know and trust and go to them.
Yeah.
I doubt it's necessarily putting them out of business, but it could be definitely affecting their business.
I definitely try and make an effort to shop small when I can, like go to mom and pop shops around here. If I try to avoid ordering off of Amazon if I can, if it's close by. Because I want to support like the local cobbler or the local, like I get my jewelry fix up the street and they're like the cutest, nicest, sweetest little mom and pop family shop.
Yeah.
But also I do understand not being able to afford $100 cake but still wanting something cute, you know?
Yeah.
And for it to look a little bit nicer than just a regular old sheet cake.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying I've flip-flopped, but
Turn off your sound.
Okay.
okay.
Sorry, Max. What was your point?
That was like the most sister thing.
Yeah, it really was.
That was so sister. That was so sister. Turn off your sound.
We've had a lot of those moments. It was taking like an hour. You were like,
okay, I'm not saying I flip flop, but I have I see the value in Walmart offering these cakes now. I guess it just makes you think, like, be more intentional about where you're going and why and where you're getting these cakes from.
Like, can I afford the local bakery?
Yeah.
And if I can't,
then fine.
you know, then maybe I got to go to Walmart. But
and it definitely
get a job. No, I'm just kidding.
The convenience of it is really nice too. Cakes really can be expensive. I think I've even spent like $150 on a cake before. Like for Max, I got him like a special one or something. But you know, it was this princess cake. It's like a Swedish cake. It just doesn't have an actual princess on it or anything, but it's a type of Swedish cake. And his mom always got them for him for his birthday. So I was like, I'll splurge and get this for him because I knew it would mean a lot to him. But if it was just a regular old cake, I don't see myself ever spending $150 on a cake. And I was feeding a lot of people too.
Yeah. At a certain point, I'm just going to go get a box.
I know. And I think also with like the ingredients, of course, I want something to taste good. Like taste is always really important to me. But as far as like,
I hope it's food.
What do you mean?
Taste is always really important.
Yeah.
Well, it's food. I hope it's important.
But sometimes like the quality of ingredients, I know taste goes with that. But if it's like one day a year and it's like made with high fructose corn syrup or like some bullshit, it's like okay to me that I'm going to eat that one time a year where it's not like organic and the best stuff. It's one thing if I'm eating this on a weekly basis, I don't want to be ingesting that all the time. But like once a year, if the quality of it is not great, I'm not going to like break the bank for it. So I don't know. I really do see both sides of this one.
Yeah. I mean, I can totally understand both sides.
But I would always want to support small businesses. But I think that a lot of people felt very like condescended or like looked down on for not being able to afford a $100 cake. So that's why a lot of like, there was a lot of outrage and there was a lot of like making fun of them. Like there was a lot of people doing like parody videos about them.
About
like,
the people that can't afford the $100 cake?
No. About the bakers complaining that Walmart was taking their business and you know, saying things like, if you can't afford a cake, then you don't deserve one. Like it's a luxury kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's how they were taking it.
They took the wrong route there. Like they could have, you know,
stated what they meant instead of insulting people who can't afford it.
Yes.
And insulting the in-house bakers at Walmart too, saying that their quality craftsmanship wasn't good. But it's like they're trained bakers as well.
Yeah. I mean, the main difference, like it's sort of like I was talking about a little bit, is that Walmart has so many things that can support it, right? So that like it can afford to be like, we can make these cakes and charge less because we have all these other things paying our bills and supporting us and making money. So it's not the same costs for them. So it doesn't mean though that those people aren't skilled laborers and doesn't mean that they're not using decent ingredients. It's just that they can afford to charge less because of their business.
So I think at the end of the day, it really is like, to me, more small business versus big corporation. Like I'm not trying to insult the bakers that were hired to do the job at Walmart or the people who can't afford it. But I do kind of think like at the end of the day, I am maybe more on the small business side just because I would never want their business to go out because of a corporation. But then it's like maybe to compete, then you actually do have to start using not as great ingredients. But then
or like have different
the quality
tiers.
the quality of your product goes down.
But maybe
then
like
you can do it for cheaper.
But maybe they have to adjust. And you know, if you only had one tactic to be, and it's these cakes, I don't know how successful that model is going to be if you can't like have one
competitor.
Yeah, and then you're just out. You know, I think you gotta get
creative.
I was gonna say, the place that these small bakers need to focus on now is, okay, how do we go? We're doing something different than Walmart.
Maybe don't do the hearts anymore,
or do them, but then also have other things too that you can be like, oh, or
Clovers
we're doing this and that. Pots of gold and rainbows.
And red balloons. Yeah, some new shapes.
Yeah, I don't know, you know, and that's where you just have to figure out how you can continue to compete with that, or you know, again, just recognize you will have lost a certain amount of people, but you'll still have your loyal customers and those that want to come to you.
For sure. All right, so let's get into a little story here. I, 18 up, and my friend 20 up went out for a pampering day. We had booked services at a salon that was rated very highly, 4.9 stars out of 5, from a site that compiles lists of salons and lets you book appointments at the places. I had booked an eyebrow threading and a facial, and it was my first time trying this technique and had heard a lot of good things about it. So we got to the salon and everything was going okay. The lady did the right brow and showed it to me to see if I liked the shape, thickness, etc. But when she did the left brow, she didn't show me. I didn't think anything of it in the moment and didn't ask because she had to take care of other customers. The day continued and my left eyelid was feeling weirdly sore and stingy. I asked my friend if she could have a look for me, and when I removed my glasses, she pointed out a fresh, small, 5 millimeter long cut on my eyelid. I didn't have it
Oh.
this morning and it was exactly where my lid was hurting. When I got home, I wrote a review of the business on the site where I had booked and explained that whilst the staff was nice, I didn't find it acceptable that I had to leave the appointment with an injury due to a service I paid for, no matter how small. About 30 minutes later, I got a call from the owner of the salon who asked why I left the review and didn't go talk to her directly when I noticed it in the shop. I explained that I only noticed the cut after I left. She offered to refund me the service and asked me to take the review down. I refused both. She said it was damaging her small business's reputation and it might cost them clients after being hit by the pandemic. I said I was sorry that she was hurt, but that I left an honest review and clients deserve to be aware of this kind of thing before buying a service. It's been a fair few hours and I feel bad because businesses were hit hard by the pandemic. And I would also feel bad if my business had such a review on a very public site. My friend is on my side. She also pointed out that I had a facial after when I had creams and scrubs rubbed all over my face, including my eyelid, which could be a hazard and maybe why my eyelid is still hurting nearly 12 hours later. So on Reddit, this one really went like so many different ways. A lot of people were
Both
both
ways?
their sides. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Let me hear what you guys think though.
You want to start, Max?
I can't believe like people think that they're coming in and they are kings and queens and like there's getting services and people are perfect. They're not. She made an accident. She probably the person taking care of her probably could have talked about, brought up, I'm so sorry, I cut you off. But then also to not call them back and just leave the review is insane. And then say, I feel bad because I have small businesses or
Yeah, and I
whatever.
wouldn't want this review out there. Okay, then put yourself
The
in their
woman,
shoes.
she offered a refund. I'm not on this reviewer's side.
I agree. I also think that there's a chance that the person who did this to her didn't even know, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a chance that they had no idea they even cut her eyelid.
Oh yeah.
And so like had they done it, I'm sure they would have said something, right? Now, again, like we're not perfect. Those of us that work in customer service, mistakes are going to happen. And like we talked about earlier, like give us a chance to write it. And this woman did try to write it. Because that's, I mean, at that point, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry this happened to you.
Yeah.
Why didn't you come talk to me? Because like we would have done something for you in that moment had we known. And honestly, again, there's a chance that the worker knew they did it and just was like, whoops, my bad.
Then that's
and
why they
say
didn't
anything.
show her the other eyebrow.
But I think they didn't also show the other eyebrow because she was like,
she
oh,
already
I just want to
approved
make
it.
sure you're approved.
Yes.
So why did she need to show you the second eyebrow?
Totally.
So, I mean, it might not have been an obvious thing until later, right? Like
until the facial that got the stuff in there. Also, how
Exactly.
big is 5 millimeters?
Small.
It's got to be so
Like-
tiny. Yeah.
like-
Let me see how many millimeters are in an inch.
A millimeter is pretty.
Like 10
pretty
millimeters?
tiny.
Probably 10,
Because
right?
no, less. Way more. Like way more. Because there's centimeters in an inch is like 2.3. And a centimeter, so that's like 230 millimeters.
25 in an inch. So
Oh.
that's
so little.
small.
And then for this woman to also be like, it's been a fair few hours and I feel bad because businesses were hit hard by the pandemic. And I also would feel bad if my business had such a review. Then take it down.
Yeah.
Take the refund and take it down.
Yeah, I don't know why she wouldn't want either. I mean, I guess she thought if she took the refund, then she would have had to take the review down.
Well, and also you could be fairer in your review, like we talked about earlier. Like, okay, yes, you had this cut, but did you like your eyebrows? Did you like everything else you received?
Yeah.
And so maybe
How was the
if you
facial, by the
feel-
way?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe if you feel bad about it,
She had a facial at the same spot?
Mhm.
Oh my
keep
God.
the information up. Keep the information up that you want because you
Then
want the
edit
public
it.
to know, but make it a 4-star review.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, look, I'm dinging 1 star for this cut situation. They tried to remedy it. And you could even add that in there. Like, hey, look, they offered it. I refused the refund. I'm going to leave this review so people know that this happened. Be careful. But other than that, I liked my eyebrows, you know?
Yeah. And
Also,
the facial was great.
Isn't threading like a little bit more of a aggressive?
Have you had it done?
I
like an
haven't, but yeah, I do
aggressive-
think that it
the way they do it. I think it's more than just. It's not like waxing.
Or
It's like
plucking.
plucking.
Yeah. It
It's like
kind of, I almost feel like you can get like a little
Like
cut
little
doing
nicks
it or
might
something. I mean, they're
be,
just threads, but that's what I was going to say is
well,
I
maybe like
think
a paper cut.
anytime you're getting a treatment somewhere, you do run the risk of like getting hurt a little bit, I feel like.
yeah.
Like there's hot waxes there.
You get a
They're
little
using sharp
burned. Yeah.
tools. I mean, how many times I've probably gotten my nails done and gotten a little hangnail every now and then. Like it's going to happen because we're human, make mistakes with all of the equipment that's being used during beauty regimens. Yeah, you kind of run the risk of burning yourself or getting a little nick here. It's not that big of a deal.
This is what happens when people don't have enough shit going on in their lives.
I know. I wouldn't even think twice about this.
Yeah, like what the hell?
Well, someone here says the owner has contacted you to try and find an acceptable solution. I think that's a good response. She has an unhappy customer and wants to make it right. If you consider this a good response, then maybe change your review to reflect on that. That way, it is an honest review of how they dealt with the problem rather than just focusing on the problem. Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
exactly. Because she's like,
again,
I want to be honest. Okay, well then be very honest.
be honest.
Truly,
Mistakes
be fully honest.
are gonna happen sometimes, and then it's about how they deal with that mistake, I feel.
Yeah.
And again, had you given them the chance to deal with it before the review too,
Exactly.
then
Call up and be like, hey, I got 5 millimeter cut on my eye.
I mean, did she measure this thing? Did she like take out a little ruler and go
Probably.
like,
Probably.
Yeah.
OP responded
Yeah.
to that comment saying, I've received the suggestion to edit it before, and I tried to see if the review was editable, but the site Treatwell doesn't allow you to edit reviews as far as I can see. If anyone has also used this site knows how to do it, I'd be happy to know how to do it. And then someone was like, then just delete it and rewrite one.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Because I mean, you could, if you can't edit, I'm sure deleting is an option. So just, yeah, rewrite it.
She did also say that there were some other customer reviews that complained about this too, but she said there was maybe like 3, including hers. So she said there was 6 reviews, including mine, that had less stars, but like most of it was positive. So it's just like, whatever, they dealt with it. And like I was just
Also-
saying, it's going to happen.
So she was saying that these guys had a rating of like what, 4.9 out of 5. And so,
Yes.
but her review would start probably bringing that down because they only have 53 reviews. That's not a lot. So the ratio now of your bad review, and especially if did she say she put 1 star? Or what did she do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, again, that's extreme. 1 star is just too low. I hate when people jump from like, oh, just this one little thing happened and now 1 star. It's like, I'm upset, so 1 star. It's like, how about we are fair in this? And I'm upset a little about this thing. But were they rude to me when I got there? No, they were nice. They welcomed me. Were they, did they do a good job other than this cut? Yes, they did. So it's like, okay, then now you're not being fair at all. So now that 4.9 is probably not 4.9 anymore. It's probably like a 4.7.
Well, we had a lot of people that were defending her, though. Do you want to hear what they had to say?
What
Let's
idiots.
hear
It's
it.
got to be her stupid friends that are like
Yeah.
trying to save her in the comments.
Yeah. I really don't understand how anyone's not on her side here. The problem isn't just that you were cut by the person who threaded your brows. It's also how they handled it afterwards. Because she didn't tell you, you got a facial that exposed you to scrubs and products that may have further irritated the wound, which is why it's still hurting. If it were me, I'd be way more upset about the fact that they intentionally hid it from me and didn't do anything to make it better, not even a discount. It doesn't matter that it's a small business or that the owner isn't the one that threaded your brows. Employees represent the business and you got shitty service. Unless you wrote something like, this place sucks, they mutilated me, don't go here or they'll thread you to death, you are 100% not the asshole. I think that she probably didn't even notice that the cut was there or not. So it just doesn't seem like, I feel like they're putting such malintentions on the person that provided the service when it's like you didn't show me my eyebrow after and you didn't say anything to me. It could have just been that she didn't.
She also had other people. Like it wasn't,
Yeah.
whether she rushed or not, but like.
She already got
She
the
might have just
approval
been-
that the eyebrow
yeah.
on the other side looked good. And she probably didn't see the cut. And maybe there's a world that she did. But,
Yeah.
sometimes I sneakily try and get away with things too. So I can't blame her.
Also, this is not a huge, this isn't a whole lot of money. Threading, I don't think is that expensive.
It sounds like it's not even about the money. She's like a warrior.
But I'm like, if you wanted like this absolutely perfect service, this isn't. It's like probably less than $50 for this,
See how much
and
it is.
like,
Yeah. I mean, it's warranted that she's like upset about this cut, sure. But again,
Yeah,
that
15
cut
to
is going to
25.
heal. It's not like she's going to probably need medical attention. Like,
Exactly.
you know, it's there, clean it. Don't let it get infected.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, it's funny because like where we surf is over reef. And so occasionally people get like little reef cuts and stuff. And that's typical. We have a super low rate of injury as far as like something that's like serious and needs medical attention. So like that's amazing, especially for what we do, because it's way higher risk than getting your eyebrows done. But, you know, people get little cuts, you know, and that happens. And, you know, most people are totally chill, totally fine. But every so often you'll have a customer who, again, they're not like upset about it, but they're just like affected more by it because they're not used to getting injured. Like there just are people in this world that like I grew up being so rough and tumbly and like getting bruises and bumps and cuts all the time. So like if I get a little cut now, I don't even think about
Another
it.
day, baby.
I don't even balk at it, you know? Or I'm like, oh, what? That I don't even notice it half the time. So when people will be like, oh, I have this teeny tiny little cut, and they'll be like, oh, can I get some Band-Aids for this? Or and I'm like, a Band-Aid? Like what? That's not even a cut. You know, like
they always need Neosporin.
Yeah, and stuff. And I'm like, all right. So I mean, I give it to them. I'm like, here's some Band-Aids for you. But I'm always laughing at myself, like, I would never put a Band-Aid on that. Like it's just clean it good and you're good.
All right, so I think that we are on the businesses side.
Yeah.
Right?
Get a life, lady.
Get a life. They tried to rectify it. You wouldn't take it down, rewrite it. Rewrite it with 4 stars if you want.
And go somewhere else if you hated it that much.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if this girl goes back.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how embarrassing would that be?
Well, yeah. I wonder if they even know who she is, though. Right? Like, because they might not.
Guess not.
No.
Yeah.
Also, some people I think might think that they're like helping out the business by writing a review. Do people think that? You know, and they're like, I'm just trying to make sure your stuff's in quality or whatever.
Then call me.
Don't
email me.
Yeah.
And same, like, that's what I always like want to reiterate is if you guys ever have an issue with me, listeners out there, like I'd rather it be through DM and so we can actually have a constructive conversation if I said something wrong than, you know, just anonymous 1-star review where it's like, then people get on the defense and they don't take constructive criticism in that way because they're already so mad that you're making it public, sometimes anonymously. I mean, with this one, she had her number and information and stuff, but like,
they do know who she is.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they clearly did because the customer or the owner called her.
They don't know her
face,
face, but
if they have her name in the system, if she shows up again, they'll know. Oh, this is that woman that wrote us that 1-star review.
But I feel like with reviews, anonymous, like you almost become like the victim where you're like, oh, how dare they like victimize me by calling me out on a public platform. So now I'm not going to listen to the constructive feedback. When I get it through an email or a call, I would way more likely respect them and want to take their thoughts into consideration.
Yeah, not just think like they're a Karen or something.
Or a troll,
like,
yeah. Or someone that just hates you, anonymously hates you, you know? So all of that to say, I think if you guys ever do have issues with people, message them.
Talk to them directly.
Talk to them
Email them.
Try and solve the problem.
Communicate. Old people.
Go to therapy. And ask for a little Neosporin and Band-Aid.
A Band-Aid on your eyelid.
All right, now we got another story. And this one's going to be a reenactment. I am a server at a pizza joint. A woman dining with her husband and 2 young sons complained that her pizza and french fries were cold.
It's all stone cold. I'm not sitting here eating a cold pizza. Not for 11 pounds. It's just not worth it.
No, of course not. So these are cold and the boy's food is also cold?
At this point, her husband speaks up. Actually, mine's... Oh, wait, hold on. Let me take that again. Since you're doing the woman in a really deep voice, I'll do his in like a high voice or something. Okay.
Or we could just say,
wait, I'm the woman?
Yes.
Oh my God. I thought I was the husband and you were the wife.
No, I'm the server.
Oh, do it again. We'll do it again.
Take 2.
Take 2.
I am a server at a local pizza.
Wait, but you're not the server.
No, I'm narrating it.
Oh.
Take 3.
I am a server at a local pizza joint. A woman dining with her husband and two young sons.
Just
Oh my
start. Take
God.
4.
Songs.
Take 4.
Take 4. Oh my God.
Two young sons complained that her pizza and french fries were cold.
It's all stone cold. I'm not sitting here eating a cold pizza. Not for 11 pounds. It's just not worth it.
No, of course not. So these are cold and the boys' food is also cold?
It's all cold. The boys are starving, so they'll eat it.
At this point, her husband speaks up. Actually, mine's okay, really.
I'll go take these back to the kitchen and sort it out for you. Just a couple minutes. I'm really sorry about all this.
She seems a little annoyed that her husband was okay with his food, and I really got the feeling that she was trying to have the complaint heard by as many other diners as possible. The husband and two young sons continue eating their food, so I take her pizza and fries to the kitchen to place it back in the oven. This brings it back up to temperature, and because the food has only been allowed to go lukewarm, this takes literally 30 seconds and does not affect the quality of the food. In fact, this is how a more experienced kitchen team member would have ensured all the items on the order were the same temperature before serving anyway. I put the hot fries back in the basket and place her now piping hot, cheese bubbling pizza back onto the serving board, including the half eaten slice, and return to her table. The whole process has taken less than 3 minutes. I placed the fries down first.
Here we go. I'm so sorry about this.
It's all right.
She seems to have calmed down, but as soon as I put the pizza down, her expression changed.
Wait, that's my pizza?
Yes, I heated it back up for you.
I wanted a fresh pizza. I could have done that at home.
Yes, but you want to eat it here, don't you?
At this point, I'm getting a little frustrated as it becomes clear what type of customer I'm dealing with. I thought I had made it clear that I was taking the food to be heated back up.
I wanted a fresh pizza, not for you just to go and microwave it.
It hasn't been in the microwave. We don't use microwaves in the restaurant. It just needed another minute back in the oven.
Forget it.
At this point, she just admitted defeat. I just shook my head and walked away, and I didn't have much to do with her for the rest of their visit as it was time for my break. Making a fresh pizza would have taken another 10 minutes at best, but probably another 15 if it had gotten delayed behind an existing order. She was able to eat her food at the same time as her family rather than receiving her food when the kids are on their desserts. I'm told they finished all their food. For context, I work both sides of the restaurant, front and back of house.
I don't know. I mean, this is just like a customer who's just going to be forever unsatisfied. I don't know. I think sometimes you just like do your best and like know this sucks when they come in, and I don't know, you just try to minimize how bad they hate everything.
Yeah, this woman's just ridiculous. I don't know why she was expecting a whole brand new pizza.
I honestly think it's because that happens a lot in restaurants. Like
You have to but if it's like, oh, this is cold.
What happens a lot in restaurants?
that they end up remaking something if there's an issue. But she wasn't complaining about the quality of it. It was just that
Just
it was
that it's
cold.
cold.
So it's like, okay, I'll just go heat it up in this oven.
Yeah.
Basically. Now, I think as a server, it definitely depends on like the mood I was in, how busy it was and everything like that. But at the restaurant I worked at, I definitely would make sure like, oh, well, we'll comp it for you or we'll get you a dessert, like something like that.
Additionally.
And I feel like, they said that even though you did it in a beautiful, perhaps New York accent, I do think that they were in England because it was 11 pounds. So
Oh,
Wait, take 5?
from the top.
it's all stone cold. I'm not sitting here eating a cold pizza. Not for 11 pounds.
No, of course not.
Of course not. Size a cold on voice is out the cold.
So I do think that in the UK, correct me if I'm wrong, my UK listeners, but they don't work for tips quite as much as here in the US.
Because it's part of the bill already, right?
I don't know about that.
I think
if it's already gratuity. No, I think they just don't do gratuity as much over there.
It's just, yeah, it's not a part of their
It's like more like 5 or
industry.
10%. Like it's not, and it's like if it was good service. Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, but I'm pretty sure that's how it
Sure,
is in Europe.
I thought
That's what I
servers
know of.
get that as part of their automatic. It's almost like an
Well, I
auto
think they
grab.
just get paid.
Better.
Their hourly is better than ours.
Tipping is customary in the UK for good service in restaurants, bars, and cafes, but it's not as common as in the US.
So I was right.
Restaurants tip 10 to 15% of the bill or more for exceptional service.
Okay. Yeah. So I have noticed when I've gone to Europe that the service is a bit slower. They're not on top of it as much as they are here and like trying to, get as many tables in and out as possible to make as much money. And so I think in the US, we kind of like ass kiss a little bit more with our tables and try and really, really write it, which has maybe made a huge Karen epidemic in our country. But I think over there, they're just like not as concerned with if the customer is like really, really, really that satisfied. When over here, I remember when I was a server, like I really would, oh, we'll comp it for you. And my manager wanted us to do that because we wanted our customers to be absolutely happy no matter
Yeah.
what. And I'm definitely not saying what she did was right.
Yeah.
But just like to play devil's advocate, I would have gone a little bit more above and beyond than what this.
Yeah, but
guy
sometimes
did.
Karens, like, they know if they complain about something that they are going to get a discount or a dessert or some other thing. And so that's why they do it, even though the service was absolutely fine and good.
Yeah, true. They're just trying to complain.
That's kind of what this seems like.
Or just get a free pizza.
Yeah, or something. She's just trying to get whatever she can out of
I
it.
think what I don't like about it is like she was like, I was expecting a fresh pizza. And it's like, well, but you didn't really communicate that either, though. You just said,
It's cold.
These are cold. You didn't even ask for like her to go heat it up or ask for what the solution to that would be. She offered like, oh, like basically let me help to take care of this for you, which then she didn't communicate how she was going to take care of it either. So on both sides, maybe there could have been better communication, but it seems like she made a pretty big assumption that taking care of it meant like, we're going to make you a brand new pizza.
Free dinner.
Yeah, because she probably ate. Well, it sounds like she only ate one slice, like half a
she
slice.
hadn't
So it
eaten a
really was
lot.
only like a half a slice that she would have gotten extra. To me, it almost seems like it's like, because it's not like a steak where it's like a lot of times a steak you do have to recook it because you're really gonna fuck with the temperature unless it's like you want it to be like medium well or something.
Yeah, like eggs is something a little hard too, right? Like,
but with pizza, everyone reheats pizza,
and sometimes it's
it's
better
that way. Get it a little bit more crispy.
Also, it's like a little bit of a mixed message when, like, her saying the boys are starving, so they'll eat it, and then the husband saying mine's actually fine, mine's okay, really. So like, it wasn't like a unanimous. This is cold
That's why
and
she was
is a
mad
problem,
too. Yeah.
.
But he did say, the server did say how it does seem almost like the kitchen team member like didn't time the temperatures right. Like the pizza probably did come
Sure.
out a little bit before the rest of them. So that's why their meals were not as cold as hers was. But
also, then it's like, okay, it's heated up.
that's the other thing too. It's like you want a fresh ass pizza. Like, are you not concerned with waste at all? Like, you don't give a fuck.
no, like what are they doing with that pizza?
They're just gonna
then?
throw that out now. So you just want
Yeah.
to waste food for it just to be the right temperature when pizza is like the easiest thing to ever reheat. And I get not wanting it to be microwaved, but it's clearly not microwaved.
And they explained that.
Yeah.
That, oh, well, no, we threw it back in the oven.
Now, some people did have a little bit something to say.
Everyone's got
about
something to say.
about, isn't this against health code violations?
But is it?
It is in my state anyway, and any restaurant I've worked for would have maybe reheated the uneaten stuff. Maybe, but I spent 3 years working at a pizza place and we were not allowed to take back food a customer was complaining about due contamination issues. So then somebody said, we did this at my former employee with a conveyor belt oven. It would go on a clean tray that got washed after. It never touched anything, not a big deal.
Well, again, UK might have totally different standards too. So But yeah, I mean, I think you could have easily had it not touching anything. Not to mention, I'm sorry, how hot is this oven? Like, it's probably killing any contaminant.
Well, OP responded saying, "There's literally no way that any bugs or nasties can jump from one food item on its own tray in a 275 degrees Celsius conveyor belt to another food item in the same oven. If this was the case, we would need about 3 separate ovens to cook dairy-free, gluten-free, vegetarian dishes to keep those pesky allergens and things from hopping from dish to dish." So that makes sense to me. If it was like on the throwing it back on the grill, I can definitely see that. But if it's an own little tray and it's just going into the oven, I don't really see how that could be too much of an issue. But exactly, like the UK definitely could have different rules.
Yeah. I mean, like somebody's saying, like here, like, what if it had been a steak? Would you have just heated it back up? Like, but it wasn't
It
a
wasn't,
steak.
idiot.
Simple as that.
Hey, but what if it was anything else? Like, it was a pizza and fries.
Up.
Yeah, another commenter was saying that you should have just made her a new one and explained that it would take extra time. That you could have given her those options, because I feel like I would do that too, where I think sometimes we would go back in, especially if it was a like a rare steak, to make it a little extra. But sometimes if it was like overcooked, like I would obviously I have to be like, okay, but just so you know, it is going to take like 25 minutes or whatever. I don't know how long,
Yeah.
especially how busy the kitchen is. So I think it's like a lot about communication. And I think there was just like a lack of communication here.
I also think customers, though, like they are on this power trip sometimes. And I think they need to remember, like, well, I don't know about remember or whatever the word is, but I'm like,
Keep in mind.
like, this isn't your restaurant.
Mhm.
This is their restaurant. You're going into their restaurant, ordering their food that they're cooking. Like,
Yeah, but isn't the customer always right?
no, that's the problem. People think that stupid rule, and so now that they just get on these power trips,
Power
and then
trips,
they just like
definitely.
demand, and I'm like, you're paying $25 for this pizza, like
No,
we
11
don't
pounds.
or whatever. Like people need to chill out, and once they can, get a life.
Well, and sometimes it's like, well, okay, what this company does and what our policies are what this company does and their policies are. And so, you know, how we dealt with the situation is how we normally deal with it, right? Like this is what we would normally do if somebody's complaining about cold pizza. We just throw it in the oven. It's normally not a big deal. If you would like us to remake one for you, and I mean, the person could have explained like this would take it's probably another 15 minutes for you to wait for your fresh pizza.
When I could just easily heat it up
This
in
one's
30 seconds
ready
flat.
to go. I mean,
Yeah.
she says that to us here, the server in the description, I think, but she never explained that, I don't think, to the customer that it would have taken another 15 minutes if she wanted a
And
fresh
maybe that is
pizza.
just a lesson learned from this, is that maybe just over communicate with your customers and let them know like, okay, I'll go and heat it up in the oven. I'm going to take this and heat it up. Like maybe just over communicate with that, because yeah, sometimes people do just assume that you like nuked it in the microwave, and that is a little bit like
Maybe you don't want
kind of gross.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I wanted a fresh pizza here, right? Like I mean, I could understand her, maybe feeling like I didn't want this to be microwaved, but then it's like, oh, but it wasn't microwaved. It was put in an oven.
Trust them with your food, and then be like, oh, would you throw it in the microwave? I don't know. I feel like you should trust the chefs, you know, like they're making your food.
Exactly.
Don't go in there if you're going to question everything they do.
Right. And, you know, maybe they weren't well aware of this restaurant, but I think you can kind of tell the ones who just microwave frozen things as opposed to like make them fresh. So you'd probably have the idea that this wasn't microwaved. And microwave pizza is like soggy. Like the underneath, the crust becomes like wet, doesn't it? Like the sauce like makes it wet. So there's a big difference. You can tell microwaved French fries and stuff.
Did she say if she liked the pizza? I bet it
we
was
have
so
no
good.
idea.
I bet it was so
Wait,
good.
no, but she did say something about they ate all their food. I think, didn't she?
Wait, is this
She
from the
said-
server's point of view? Yeah, this
was all from the server, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they ate all their food, yeah, I bet you it was a freaking good pizza, and they just wanted to.
Yeah.
And she dropped it eventually. So
Yeah. Oh, I'm told that they finished all their food. So
she got fired.
now, how would you have handled this as the server? Same way?
Every place has different procedures, but this seems like that was kind of how they did things. Also, I don't think I would have given her an option to just reheat it or make a fresh pizza, because also like that's a lot of ingredients for a whole new pizza on this woman who's like just one guest.
Yeah, I
don't
guess it
know.
just depends on how the restaurant operates. Like I was saying, like the one I worked at I would have gone back and like asked the chef what he thinks is best.
Yeah.
And then he would have said, yeah, let's just heat it up, which is what they always want to avoid
Remaking
something. But then I would maybe then probably go back to chef and be like, well, now she's complaining she wants a whole new one made. And he's like, well, he'd probably be like, all right, well, tell her it's going to take like 20 minutes because I'm busy.
A new pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm putting that in quotes.
Yeah.
No,
make a new pizza.
Well, no, but there was bites out of it, right?
Yeah,
So that was
exactly.
that's how she knew it was her pizza.
Yeah.
Right. That's
But my manager probably would, and then I would probably go and talk to my manager, and then he would probably just be like, just comp it. Like give her that pizza, but like comp it.
Well, I definitely would have if this was like, you know, me not working the back of the house too, would have just been like, it's like sort of not my policy. It's up to whatever. I tell them what happened, the customer's complaint. Now they fix it the way that they fix it.
Oh yeah.
Right?
I would always blame it on the chef. Like I'd be like, I'm sorry. And that's how you get in good with like your guests, because you'd be like, it's so like I hate this policy. It's so annoying. Like I would never choose to do this, but this is what they say, you know? You got to like bring it to them in a way where you're on their side, and it always wins them over.
People at restaurants though got to chill out. This isn't their restaurant.
I mean, I get it, because like when you go out to eat, you are paying for the experience too. I mean, that's why like you're tipping and you want the service to go out good, and like it really does suck when your food doesn't come out great. And when it tastes bad and you're like, fuck, like I really am paying like a lot of money for this. And I was wanting to go out to eat, and I was wanting to get like wined and dined, you know? So I definitely understand that, but that's gonna happen sometimes. And I think you just have to like cut your losses and be like, oh, well, this is the one time that happened.
Yeah. And if you complain, make them aware of it. Hopefully you trust them enough to just make the best call for you. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's just reheated in the oven. Delicious. All right, we're just gonna wrap it up on some funny monument. What should we call them? Monuments of the world reviews on TripAdvisor.
Oh my God, that's really fun.
Patrick Stewart. Chelsea showed me this thing that the actor Patrick Stewart, I don't know what he was doing it for, but he was doing dramatic readings of one-star reviews from like big tourist places in the world. And so I went on TripAdvisor and I found a few that I thought were really funny. So should we do dramatic readings of them?
The Eiffel Tower is like that one ex you can't escape from. No matter where you go in Paris, it's always there. Dun, dun, looming dun, in the background, just waiting for you to notice it.
That stupid Eiffel Tower.
Stupid, dumb,
just waiting
ugly.
for you to notice it.
It really just
I can't escape it.
Yeah, it takes up so much of the attention.
Yeah.
I've actually never been to Paris. I don't know. Can you see it from everywhere?
You can't see it everywhere, but it is kind of like in a main area. But yeah.
You definitely will see it
beautiful.
A lot. Yeah. And it's like a cool thing that you're seeing.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Mount Rushmore.
A perfectly good mountain was ruined to create this. The Barbie version my niece showed me was miles better and did not ruin the environment by creating the absolute eyesore that is the real Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. I love that.
Barbie version.
A terrible
What is the Barbie
sight.
version? What's the Barbie version?
Didn't they have it in the movie?
Oh,
the Barbie
it had all
movie.
the like it had a bunch of women, right?
Yeah.
This is just like a super feminist here, and she was like, 4 men.
That's so funny.
So it's like the original Barbie and then some like the other ones.
Perfectly good mountain was ruined to create this.
Ruin the environment. I mean, I personally loved Mount Rushmore when we visited. I think
was
we were
really
like
cool.
9
I
and
went to Mount
10.
Rushmore too.
You
Yeah,
did?
we did our
Yeah.
family RV trip. So it was like the RV.
We
trip.
did it in
Ours
a
was a
little
road
bit in
trip,
a
too.
minivan, but yeah, we were road tripping through there.
It
was fun.
I had fun as a kid. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
definitely like
Wait, didn't they have that huge giant store that we stopped at in South Dakota? Did you do
Probably.
this? I just remember there being like, because there wasn't much, you know, like it's just really cool scenery. Like the Badlands was beautiful, but there was like some big store that it was like as you were driving, there was always signs like exit for this huge, massive,
Was it
giant,
a
like
disappointment?
no,
Or
I
was
don't
it
know. It was
cool?
just massive, and it like just had it was like, you know, like what do you need when you're road tripping through South Dakota or something?
Yeah.
Like a big gift shop
It was
or
like,
like a
yeah,
Walmart?
no, it was more like a massive, massive
Like
little like road
souvenir?
stop, gift shop, kind of like food and whatever. But yeah,
Interesting.
I can't
Well, I'm
remember the
glad
name
you
of it.
remembered that. I just think it's funny where she's like the Barbie version my niece showed me. It's like that was a photo.
It was
That was
fake.
fake.
It was
Oh,
This was
yeah.
like
this was real.
this was art. Like I do
Yeah.
think Mount Rushmore is art. Like
Oh
they're
yeah.
strapped up there, they're chiseling. I mean, they're sculptors.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's cool. I mean, I guess you could consider it ruining the environment, but I don't know.
I
It's a
am
really
questioning
interesting
who is
feat that
this
they did.
person. I don't.
That
I'm
goes on
like.
TripAdvisor
And
to
write a
review
1-star
a
review. Review a
I
place.
place.
Yeah.
I guess these are all like national parks, kind of. Like, is that it? That's like a national park.
Or I
Not
don't know if
Eiffel
that's a national
Tower, but
park.
no,
Some
it's gotta
monuments.
be. Oh, it's a national monument. Is that different?
That's yeah. Because a park is big, right? Like we're
National Memorial.
there you go.
All right, anyway.
funny.
Stonehenge. Big bits of a stone in an old field. Yes, they're old. And yes, it might hold your interest for, I don't know, a few seconds or two, wondering how did they do this all those years ago? Until you realize that at the same time, 2,000 miles away, the Great Pyramids were being built. Point set match.
I feel like this is like a kid in like elementary school, like learning about these places, and then just had this website and decided to put this out there.
And also, wasn't the thing about that those stones were only found in Wales? So they actually transported those stones to like the area that it is in the UK now, or in England. And so it is like a wonder of the world because they don't know how back in those days they got those stones
All
and
the
put
way
them over there. And
there.
they think that it was like
It
on
was
stone
aliens.
wheels. But yeah, they say it's aliens.
Well, I mean,
same with the
doesn't
pyramids.
it have a something significant, like kind of with the cosmos, right? Like, isn't that a big part of it?
The way
Yeah.
it's laid out.
Something. I mean, and what it originally looked like, I'm sure was like different, right? Like, what did that structure look like when they first built it versus now? Because now it's like ruins. It's decayed, broken down, but it still looks cool, I think. And
Have you
sometimes
ever
you
been?
just go to. No, I haven't seen it. But
I've
just
seen it from the side
pictures.
of the street. I didn't go in and
Stonehenge?
yeah, because we were driving by, so like we stopped off and looked, and it was like quite in the distance, but you can get closer. But then I think you also can't like fully walk all the way around it.
They don't allow you to get that close to it.
Yeah,
Well, they probably don't want you to touch
they
it.
don't want you to touch it.
Some things are meant to be admired as like
Exactly.
just historical things.
And on that note, then
The pyramids are an amateur Lego assembly. I came here on the Brendan Fraser fan bus tour. Massively overrated sight to see. These are just old, dirty Legos put together in the desert. They couldn't even make a cool shape. Triangle after triangle. Try mixing it up.
Oh my god. I love this. Came here on the Brendan Fraser fan bus tour. I want to go on this tour.
This is so funny.
Oh, it's so good.
it's hilarious how people these days, like, because of modern technology and anything, they're just not impressed by anything from the past
No.
anymore.
I mean, it's so impressive.
Legos.
Right? They think it's Legos. I mean, you try building this.
Oh, there's no fucking way they could. They probably couldn't even
No.
lift one of them, like one of the bricks.
Yeah.
Also, it would be really cool if you were just kind of we didn't have phones or computers, so we didn't know some of these landmarks exist. And then so you're just going into this different part of the world, and then you see the pyramids
Yeah.
and have no idea what it is, or that'd be
I think people
so.
like get let down from the hype of things, perhaps.
Or they just see it everywhere on their phones, on postcards or whatever, and then
in
you're like,
Brendan Fraser movies.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times people get let down by the size. Like I think even when I was driving by
Mm.
Stonehenge and like it was so far away, obviously it was gonna look small, but even I was like, oh wow, like I kind of expected it to look bigger. I don't know. I think a lot of times that happens. Photos don't necessarily translate. But yeah, to just like diminish the hard work that these Egyptians did.
Amateur Lego assembly.
Amateur.
That's insane.
Well, he's just like eating his Doritos on the Brendan Fraser fan bus, like getting crumbs all over his shirt.
You should see the Legos I build. I build a Starship Enterprise.
I would love if they were disappointed by the pyramids, but very impressed by the Brendan Fraser fan bus tour.
I'm sure they were.
5 stars for the Brendan Fraser fan bus tour.
But 1 star for the pyramids.
And then they were just they didn't like the triangle after triangle either.
Wait, maybe make a little star.
Yeah.
Try mixing it up.
But isn't that one of the parts of the pyramids that is such like a miracle that they made? Because that's one of the wonders of the world too, where it's like, how did they do it?
And that's why it's all aliens.
Well, it says the triangular faces of the pyramid help distribute the weight of the structure down to its base, allowing it to support heavy loads while maintaining stability. The design also minimizes the amount of material needed for construction, which was crucial in ancient times. So there was a specific reason why they did it, buddy.
Plus, these were just massive tombs, were they not? Like, and like, how amazing is that? You spent all these resources and all this labor on
Just for some guy named
a
Doug to
giant-
go on the Brendan Fraser bus tour and insult the fuck out of you.
Insult the fuck out of you.
Lift his head for 1
Thousands and
second.
thousands of years later. He didn't even get off the bus. He's just looking at him.
No.
Like,
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining
Thank you.
today.
This is so much fun.
Tell them where
Thanks
you
for
can
coming,
find
Max.
you guys.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, on your comedy shows around Los Angeles.
At Max Hawksford.
At Max
_
Max Hawksford.
So you can find us at Ohana Surf Project on Instagram. And it's also that on TikTok, I'm pretty sure.
How do you spell it?
And it's spelled Ohana. And Ohana means family. Like a lot of people who watch Lilo and Stitch, they know.
Ohana means family.
Family
means
means nobody gets left behind
Oh.
or forgotten.
Or forgotten.
And we don't leave nobody behind, except for maybe a few of those 1-star reviewers.
They can stand the beat.
And yeah, if you guys are ever in Honolulu, Waikiki, or just anywhere on Oahu, stop by Waikiki Beach. Look them up. Tell them we
Yeah.
sent you. You can give them a little discount.
Yeah. Well, you have to say that you found us through D
is
is for Drama.
Family and friends, baby.
Woo! It's super fun.
Thank you guys so much for listening. And remember, you can't spell drama without D.